All his fielders out there.
6 to win, 4 for a super over. More!
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna discuss today the series which has recently been finished between India and New Zealand. And New Zealand won that series 2-0 and they won comprehensively against India. Now no one was expecting that it will be a one-sided series because India, they won 11 series on trot in India, and that was the problem. Everyone was expecting that at least the test matches will be going to day 4, day 5. We will see grit from Virat Kohli, Cheteshwar Pujara. Then India, they were definitely missing experience in this batting lineup. Especially there was a bit criticism on Rishabh Pant also. He just came back, but again we have not seen a big innings from Rishabh Pant or any batsman, and that's why they were struggling. They were struggling in the middle orders. There was no partnerships, and it was just not the Indian batting, it was the New Zealand batting also the reason. So the both teams, they were struggling. Now the trump card which New Zealand cricket team they played in these two test matches was the pitches were greener, they were bouncy, there were overcast conditions. The condition was not at all good for the batsman, and we saw the swing also, seam also, and then they exploited, the New Zealand bowlers, they exploited the weaknesses of Indian batsmen. Like with the short balls, I'm going to tell you some stats also today in this video. Their averages, especially Cheteshwar Pujara averages, then Virat Kohli averages, their averages against the short ball outside Asia. So I'm going to tell you all this in my video today. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. The first thing I'm going to discuss the points table. Now you can see India still on top with 360 points. On number 2 it's Australia with 296. Then on number 3 it's New Zealand with 180 runs. Now every single test playing nation, they are trying to grab all those points they are playing at home. Especially we saw the New Zealand, the Christchurch pitch. I'm going to share the picture. You won't see, the grass is everywhere and you can't even spot where the pitch is. So they exploited, and they knew that the Indian batting will be struggling on those greener pitches, and that's why they exploited those weaknesses. On number 4 you can see England with 146 points, and on number 5th is Pakistan. They still have to play one test match, and that's against Bangladesh, but they are on number 140 points on number 5th position. I'm going to tell you now the weaknesses which New Zealand bowlers, the pace attack, Neil Wagner, Jamieson, Trent Boult, and then Tim Southee, they exploited. The first weakness I'm going to tell you is that the 114.9 average balls taken by Indian opener in this series against New Zealand, their worst strike rate against openers in the series, and the minimum 2 since the England test series, and minimum 2 test matches since the England test series in India back in 2012, and that's 157.9. I'm also going to tell you the Virat Kohli scores, which is you can see it on the screen, which is 2, 19, 3 and 14. Virat Kohli series, this series in this 2 test matches series was the least productive series, and he has got a lowest average of 9.5. Cheteshwar Pujara batting average against the left arm pacers in the test in this test match was 90.5 over the wicket and 30.8 around the wicket. So that was the Cheteshwar Pujara batting average against the left arm pacers, and that's the weaknesses. So any bowler bowling Cheteshwar Pujara, he has got a more chance of getting his wicket if he's bowling around the wicket, because his average is 30.8 around the wicket. Ajinkya Rahane falls shot percentage against pacers in this series was 9.8 on the front foot and 20 on the back foot. So he was really his average is really low, which is 9.8 on the front foot. For New Zealand, we saw it was a really tremendous debut for Kyle Jamieson. he batted also for New Zealand, and then he has got a height of 6.6, and that was I think so. That was also the difference. I think so. He was a surprise factor for Indian cricket team. The way he bowled in the first Test match and then in the second Test match also. Kyle Jamieson false shot percentage was the lowest among all batsmen in the second Test match. We saw even the New Zealand batting also struggled on that green pitch. The false shot percentage induced by Indian pacers in this Test match, which was a second Test match, was 18.9 on day 1 and then 28.8 on day 2. Also, the Kiwis pacers exploited Cheteshwar Pujara's trouble against the short balls. The balls Cheteshwar Pujara faced was 273. He managed to get only 31 runs, and it was 5 dismissals on the short ball with a strike rate of 11.4. Tom Blundell and then Tom Latham. I'm the one, if you see my old vlogs, I mentioned that Jeet Rawal, when he was struggling, that New Zealand cricket team, they need to replace him with Tom Blundell, and I think so that was also the difference. If we see their averages, Tom Blundell and Tom Latham faced 100. They faced 133 balls partnership, longest opening stand versus India in the second Test match. Then Tim Southee induced the false shot percentage, which is 4.7. I just want to say in ODIs also, Tim Southee has also got the maximum number of wickets against Virat Kohli, so he's on the top of the list, and that's why he was too good in the Test series also, because he knew exactly the weaknesses of the Indian batsman. So the false shot percentage induced by Tim Southee was 4.7 in the first session of the second Test match, and then 19.4 in the second session. Tim is very good with the old ball. That's why the New Zealand management, they always give him old ball, and he comes in the second or third part of the innings when the ball is older. I'm also going to tell you now the strike rates of Virat Kohli and Cheteshwar Pujara outside Asia against the short balls. Virat Kohli's strike rate is 72.3, which is, you can say it, which is okay, but Cheteshwar Pujara's strike rate is 10.8 against the short balls outside Asia. So I've just mentioned all the weaknesses. It's not the Indian cricket team, it's the Pakistan also, Sri Lanka also, Bangladesh also. All the Asian teams, they struggle whenever they visit or they tour New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, England. And I think so, I just want to say that this is a wake-up call for Indian cricket team, because if they're gonna go next time to Australia or England, the conditions will be exactly the similar, and they will definitely go back and watch the old videos of Indian cricket batsman weaknesses, especially now when Australia, they have got David Warner and Steve Smith back. Marnus Labuschagne of Australia, he has also scored tons of runs, so they are in top form. And we all remember when these two, David Warner and Steve Smith, when they were banned for 1 year, the Australian cricket team was dropped down to number 6th or 7th ranking in 3 formats, in ODI, 2020 and the Test cricket also. But soon they have taken over Australian cricket team. They are I think so now number 1 in 2020, because they won the series against South Africa. So once the points table will be refreshed, I think so Australia will be top in the 2020. Then the Test, you can see there on the points table, they are on number 2, and then you can see on the in the ODIs also they are on number 2 or 3. So the things will be really difficult for India when they tour England and Australia, and that's what they need to work. Otherwise the things will be really difficult for them, and they need to prove that they are number 1 side, and that is when they will start. We will all recognize them as a number 1 side when they will start winning Test matches in New Zealand. They won series against Australia last year, but we all remember that was not a full strength Australian side. Now they have got a full strength Australian side, and then India, they have been struggling for a long time, especially Virat Kohli struggles in England every time when they tour England. So these things, Indian cricket team, they need to work on. If you like my video, please share it, and also please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you very much. Bye.